South Africa's Department of Education is now quietly busy implementing policies in schools that scholars from the University of the Free State openly recognize as being akin to some of the darkest forms of cultural genocide in human history. Yes, the way the Bella Act is implemented under the DAC Viwe Gwarube is a blueprint of the Indian residential school system, which the Canadian courts ruled as cultural genocide against its American Indian and Eskimo populations. In this video, I will explain how Dr. Johan Beckman from the University of the Free State came to this exact conclusion. Behind the veiled language of decolonization and inclusion, government education policy is steadily and systematically dismantling Afrikaans schools with consequences that have the potential to threaten the very continued existence of these people. Back in 2010, the Department of Basic Education rolled out a pilot project to promote so-called indigenous languages as languages of instruction in just over 80 Eastern Cape schools. The program, known as the Mother Tongue-based Bilingual Education Program, had been designed to strengthen the use of African languages for teaching and learning, and the department is now moving towards rolling it out everywhere else in the country. Interestingly enough, the reference to indigenous languages is, even in official government documents, also treated as synonymous with the Department of Basic Education's what they describe as the 9 official African languages in the country. This is significant as it not only excludes English, but also specifically excludes Afrikaans, which is a native local language in the official Department of Education documentation, from the definition of an African language to be promoted in education. Furthermore, its implementation in the Eastern Cape pilot project highlights this, as Robert Daigen from the Cape Independent recently pointed out.
So there's a 2007 guiding document which they refer to, and then that document refers to definitions from a 1997 document. So you have to go back into the woodwork. But essentially what they've done is they said, okay, and there's a pilot project already in place in the Eastern Cape. So what they've done is they've said that we are going to promote indigenous languages. Okay, mother tongue education gives you all those justifications, but they don't use the phrase mother tongue education. They don't use the phrase native South African languages. They use the phrase indigenous South African languages. And then they define that very specifically as not including Afrikaans. Yes. And so you can see this shape coming out in the Eastern Cape's language policy. And over there, the way that they're running it is like Afrikaans is bigger than Sotho. Sotho is tiny in the Eastern Cape, but Sotho gets special resources. Afrikaans is no longer having special resources. Yes. So this is kind of an approach that you're seeing quite broadly. And Siviwe Gwarube, who's supposed to be like, very DA, whatever. There was a video someone took behind closed doors when the bill was being announced and passed and all of that. And she was saying, this is a great bill because we don't have to listen to all those silly parents and judges and local authorities. We don't have to listen to them. Finally, we can ignore them. And It's going to be fantastic because we can have a single centralized plan.
The Bella Act's reference to this language policy as a guiding document sets the stage for the implementation of this policy that has been tested in the Eastern Cape pilot project on a national level. Time and time again, when Afrikaners and Afrikaans civil rights organizations protested against the Bella Act, the government has defended the law by claiming that it has nothing against Afrikaans and that it wants to promote Afrikaans education as well. As the former Minister of Education, Angie Motshekga, claimed in May 2024 when confronted about this, we are not going to destroy Afrikaans. There is a need to clarify the untruths that we want to attack certain languages like Afrikaans. When Afrikaans organizations rightfully maintained that the essence of the Bella Act amounts to an assault on the rights of the Afrikaner children to basic education in their native mother tongue, the government was even for a brief time hesitant about implementing its language policies. When President Cyril Ramaphosa initially signed into law the Bella Act in September 2024, he postponed the implementation of sections dealing with school language and admissions policy to allow further negotiation and consultation between parties such as the Solidarity Movement before these provisions could take effect. Later, of course, the government simply ignored the requests of the civil rights organizations such as Solidarity and went ahead with implementing it anyway under the Department of the D.A.'s Guarube. The fact of the matter is that by means of the Bella Act, a government which we know is antagonistic towards Afrikaans, viewing it as a non-African colonial language whose very presence in South African education is seen as a mark of perceived historical oppression. The pressure currently being placed on Afrikaans schools isn't something new. The Department of Basic Education has long been involved in actions that directly or indirectly infringe upon Afrikaners' constitutional right to mother tongue education. And the results are very clear. As Dr. Johan Beckman from the University of the Free State points out in a 2024 study published in the African Perspectives of Research in Teaching and Learning, the number of public schools in this country that use Afrikaans as a medium of instruction decreased by 11% between 2012 and 2020. Beckman highlights that if current trends continue, there will be less than 1,500 such schools left by 2030, compared to just over 2,000 in 2022. This means that the number of schools in this country where education is conducted in Afrikaans now declines by almost 500 every 5 years. But Beckman makes an even more profound claim after he compares the South African government's drive to promote African languages at the expense of Afrikaans in our education system with the Indian residential school system of Canada, which had previously been in place in the Canadian country. Specifically referring to the Bella Bill, Beckman notes the following. There are indications that educational language policies in South Africa are being steered in the general direction of the Indian residential school system, hereinafter IRSS, introduced by the Canadian government. Now, where the rubber really hits the road is where Beckman points out that in Canada, the Canadian Truth and Reconciliation Committee found the Canadian education policies which prioritize English over Indigenous Indian and Eskimo languages amounted to cultural genocide. This leads Beckman to finally conclude at the end of his paper that South Africa may not be spared the cultural genocide or language murders reported elsewhere. This claim by one of the country's leading scholars is a profound warning concerning this government strategy to transform and decolonize South Africa's education through laws like the Bella Act. For any people, any language, or any ethnic group to survive intergenerationally, mother tongue education is absolutely essential, not just as a means of instruction, but as the avenue through which young people come to appropriate the customs, traditions, stories, and values of their people as their own stories. By attacking Afrikaans schools, the government of this country is launching an onslaught on the future survival of Afrikaans as a language and by extent the Afrikaner people. And as such, they are posing a very real existential threat. A threat that could lead to the destruction of one of the only things of this country that is actually functioning at a first world standard, which is, of course, our Afrikaans schools. In a recent video, we highlighted everything you need to know about the Bella Act and what it concerned. Check out this report by clicking on this link appearing on your screen right now. And do consider supporting our work by becoming a paid member of the Willem Petsig Group by just following these easy steps underneath me. Only with your help are we able to pay everyone's salaries involved in these videos. Goodbye and God bless.